Hello, guys. What's today? Today is the 26th of November. Happy November 26th, everybody. My name's Kirsten, and welcome to my podcast episode. This is number three, Debunking Fitness by Kay. So just like a quick little overview announcement kind of thing. As you can see on my screen right here, it says Black Friday sale. I am a personal trainer and nutrition coach and also an athletic therapist. And I have amazing programs that are on sale right now, and it runs until December 8th. So if you are looking for someone who will help you get a healthy lifestyle, if you're looking for someone who will help you lose weight, any of the above, health and fitness, fix any issues that you might have with like your hormones or anything like that, or if you're like looking to tone up and have no idea how to lift weights, I'm your girl. What's up? Shoot me a message, comment on this video, whatever it may be. Get in contact with me. I have a website. Go to my website, performancebyk.com. Send me a message, and I'll chat with you all about your health and fitness goals and what my sale entails. It's different for everybody, so it's just gonna be talking to you about all of your goals, what you're looking for, and then I have a bunch of different plans for a bunch of different budgets. So shoot me a message, we'll get chatting. And this sale only exists this time of year. It will never come back, quite literally ever. Everything that I've got going on will never come back. Okay. I'm excited to hear from you. Anyway, let's dive into today's episode. So today's episode is all about fat reduction and spot reducing fat. A really big myth here. A lot of people believe that you can spot reduce fat. So have you ever heard of the idea that like if you do 100 crunches, then you're going to get abs and you're going to lose all of your belly fat if you do 100 crunches a day? That's a big misconception. So spot reduction is basically where you can, if you have like a big belly or if you have really big thighs or your arms are really flabby, then you believe that you can do certain exercises and only target this area, which is slightly true, but not in the fat loss realm. You can target these areas and work out these muscles, but that doesn't mean that you're going to lose fat in that area. And that whole belief kind of centers around if I work out this area, I will lose the belly fat in this area. And that just simply is not true. So let's see. The reason also why this is so widespread is just purely based off of like influencers, marketing, people who say like, do this to get abs, which yeah, you're gonna increase the muscle, but like you're not gonna get rid of that fat. Fat loss comes from like an overall total body fat loss. And so the only way to spot reduce is to reduce fat in your whole body. Okay. And then another reason why I am doing this whole podcast and the whole reasoning behind my podcast is because fitness myths can be so annoying. Nutrition myths can be so annoying. It's so difficult to like sift through all of the material that you're seeing online, that you're hearing from everybody, and you're like, okay, what's real and what's not? Someone told me that I can spot reduce fat, but another person's telling me that I can't. Someone told me that I should be intermittent fasting because it'll boost my metabolism, but someone else is saying that's not true and I need to be eating small meals every single day. Like, what's real, what's not? Okay, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to save you time. I'm here to save you frustration, and I'm here to save you some money. Honestly, these are free tips for you. No charge, no questions asked. Okay, I'm here to help you. So let's dive into what is fat loss? How does fat loss work? So fat is stored energy. Fat is a certain let's see, it's a macronutrient, but it also can be like a stored molecule in your body. You have certain molecules, they're called triglycerides, and they're stored within your body for the times that you need it. So the times that you are starving, your body will start to feed on that. The times that you run out of all of your carbohydrates, your body will start feeding on that. It's like the last bit of energy that your body will use. Your body will use all of your carbs first, and then at the last resort, it will start to do that. It'll start to chip away at the fat. And so your genetics and your hormones and everything aside will determine also how you store fat, but also how you lose fat. And so there are some people who store a lot of fat in their belly. There's a lot of people who store a lot of fat in their arms or in their face or in their thighs. Like how your body stores fat is different from person to person. And so losing fat is also that same way. So your body decides how it wants to lose fat too. And so you can't just be like, I'm going to lose fat in this area, because your body's like, no, you're not, because this area is where the fat's going to go first, because this is where we've been storing it most recently. And so this is the area that's going to go first. So if your face is really fat, which is what I'm pointing at right now, and that just happened recently, if you start losing weight, your face will probably thin out first, and then it'll hit your belly last, if that was like the first place you notice fat growing, or vice versa. If you feel like you have a stubborn area, that'll most likely be the last area to leave once you start your fat loss journey. And so lipolysis is the system of breaking down fat. And so that is more like a systematic process. It's not so much like a it's not so much like you can just pinpoint it. Your body has the certain like rule book, basically, where it says this is where we're going to start lipolysis first, and then that basically means breaking down stored fat. This is where we're going to start first, and this is where we're going to start it last. So it has this list already written out for you. And so because your brain says, well, I'm going to do it first, your body's not going to listen to that. Your body's going to do what your body always does, because it runs on its own code book. How do you breathe? How do you blink? How do you speak? How do you move? You're not doing most of that stuff. Blinking. You're not really thinking about that or in control of it. Your body has a rule book. Your body knows what it's doing. And so let's talk about yeah. Okay. Let's talk about why spot reduction feels like it works, but it doesn't actually work. So whenever you feel like you have spot reduction going on, if you feel like you are like doing the car or doing the cardio, not cardio, sorry, you're doing the crunches, you're doing the tricep dips, you're doing the squats, whatever they are, and you're like, this is going to help me lose weight in this area. The reason why it feels like it's working is because you're getting a burning sensation in that area. So if you're doing crunches and you're like, yeah, I'm working out the muscles, yeah, it's going to work. You're just working out the muscles, and the muscles create that burning sensation. It's just muscle fatigue. It's not so much that you're burning the fat. So, and then along that same wavelength, you can also improve muscle toning underneath of your fat layers, which can give you the illusion of fat loss, but truly your body has a systematic way of how it's losing weight. And it really just depends on your body's agenda. That's why it might feel like you're losing weight. But what actually works for a fat loss, and I kind of covered this in my last episode, is the principle of a calorie deficit. Truly, yes, that is what does it, but there are guidelines to that. Your nutrition plays the biggest role. I'm sure you've heard that 80% of your fat loss and your weight loss comes from your diet, and then the other 20% comes from working out. There is a lot of science in that and a lot of basis in that. Not necessarily maybe the numbers, and the numbers might be different, but basically the majority of your fat loss and your weight loss is going to come from your diet. What you put into your body and what gets output into your body, or output from your body, is how you're going to be creating a difference. And so nutrition, number one. So calorie deficit is really going to help you lose that weight, but it really just depends how long you've been in a calorie deficit for, how big the calorie deficit is, and then also like your macronutrient distribution. So if you're eating just carbs and fats, your body's probably going to still hold on to a lot of that stuff. You got to make sure you have a balanced diet of protein, carbs, and fats, which is where all of those nutrient sources come from, which we covered in episode 2. So give that one a listen as well. It's very good. And then, yeah, make sure that you're focusing on whole nutrient dense foods and portion control to really help you to create that good calorie deficit. And then see that fat loss, but also know, like in my last episode, you can only be in a calorie deficit for so long before you got to go back up to your maintenance, so that your body doesn't realize that the calorie deficit is the new normal. And so it has to work off of that, because eventually you will stop losing weight. you're in a calorie deficit for so long, your body would be like, okay, well, this is normal. This is what we got. Now we got to hold on to everything because we got to live. It's crazy. The human body is so complex. It's absolutely insane. Um, and then whenever it comes to weight training, once we get to that certain aspect of weight loss, full body weight training is going to help you burn the most calories because you're using all of your muscles. Using all of your muscles will help recruit more energy. It'll help you go through your carbohydrate storage first and then help you get to that fat storage. The biggest weight loss or the fat burner exercises are those like medium intensity exercises that you do for about 60 minutes. So you've heard of like HIIT exercises, high intensity interval training, right? This is like a step down from that. So going on like a jog for 60 minutes where you're like definitely like doing some work, but you're not sprinting. Okay. But like a good doing work for like 60 minutes is going to help you lose that weight. Or if you're like, I hate jogging, I don't want to run, I hate cardio, that's the worst thing in the world. Doing a full body exercise routine for 60 minutes. You can do it for 30 minutes. Anything is better than nothing, but that good 60 minutes will really make a good dent in that energy supply. So it'll help you go through all of your carbs and help you get to that fat burning stage of the workout, which is where your body is now relying on your fat storage for the energy for the workout. And then also it's super important to focus on building muscle because the more muscle that you have, the more increased metabolism that you have. So building muscle will actually help you increase your metabolism. So if you feel like you've got a slow metabolism, muscle will help that because it requires so much more energy. It requires so much more blood flow. It requires so much more. So the more of it that you have, the more your body is burning to help maintain everything you've got, all of the muscles that you've got that need fuel. And then also the biggest thing is being patient and being consistent. Those are the biggest things that my clients actually struggle with is being patient with the process, knowing that it's going to take a few months because, or even longer, because how long did it take you to gain all of this weight? You didn't gain it overnight. It took years, at least 1 year of consistently weight gain. So you're going to have to expect that to lose the weight. You can speed up the process, but it is going to take time. You're not going to lose all your weight in 12 weeks. Unless you're only losing like 5 pounds, then like, yeah, maybe that's possible. But if you're like looking for some heavy fat loss and some life-changing results that will keep up with you and you won't go back to where you were before, this is the way to do it. Okay. It's to neutralize your nutrition routine, and it's also to increase your activity levels and increase that weight training so that you build more muscle. And then this will also help you just kind of create a more healthy lifestyle instead of having these quick fix results that you're like, okay, I only have to do this terrible thing for 12 weeks. I only have to eat this weird diet for 12 weeks and then I can go back to normal. That's not sustainable. You're going to go right back where you were because you didn't change any of your habits. And your habits are what led you there. So focus on having nutrient good, dense foods that are delicious, that make you feel good, that are good for you. And then building up a routine of weight training that will help you to gain all that muscle. But it's also fun and it's also entertaining and it also doesn't feel terrible. You're not kicking your butt and doing like the 45-day hard. If you haven't looked or haven't heard of that, look that up. But you're not doing all that crazy stuff. So it is possible to lose that fat, that stubborn belly fat, whatever that spot reduction fat by doing these lifestyle changes. And that's what I do. That's what I teach. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to be basically a life coach for your health and fitness. I'm here to help you figure that out. And so basically, bottom line, don't believe everything you read on the internet or see on the internet. Look up some actual research to see if you can back up that science or whatever. And then talk to someone who's a professional. See what's real, see what's not. Because I've studied this for so many years. I know the human body very, very well. There's a whole lot more that we can go into this, and maybe I'll go into this next episode or an episode later down the road. But my last little tidbit that I really love is my ghost story, because there's no such thing as debunking fitness if you don't debunk ghosts. And I just love paranormal. So here's my story for today. Again, I got it off of Reddit and I'm just going to read it. as is. I didn't make any changes to it, but this one's got a lot of upvotes, so I think it's gonna be pretty good. All right, so this story is called Ghosts in the Ghetto. As a young mom, I couldn't afford much. These were low rental units just off of 22nd Street. The owner of this building was basically a slumlord. I got to give him some credit though. He did attempt to renovate and he evicted all of the problematic tenants that used to live there. The building manager was being more picky about who they let in the building now too. So that's why the apartment building was half empty when I moved there with my 3-year-old. We got to know the neighbors quick. I met a woman named Rebecca, and she told me that her previous boyfriend died from heart complications not too long ago. Then she told me how his friend Jim was there for her and how they leaned on each other during their time of mourning. She said that she moved out of her place to live with Jim in his basement suite, and she wasn't much older than I was. Pretty, with dark curly hair, pale skin, I nodded my head and commiserated with her. It was good that they had each other. Grief was hard enough on your own, and if you can find a shoulder to lean on, then it was much lighter. They offered me a beer, but I declined, and that was Rebecca. I was curled up on my couch watching TV alone one night. It was well after midnight when someone knocked on my door. My immediate thought was, who the hell would be knocking on my door at this hour? My nosy self headed over to look into the peephole, and standing there in the hallway under the fluorescent lighting was this older gentleman. He was wearing a short-sleeved, colorful print shirt, khaki shorts, and brown sandals. He was a white guy with silver, messy, medium-length hair, and he had a bit of a paunch. I opened the door. He looked at me with these sad blue eyes. He asked, "Is Rebecca home?" I furrowed my brow and then told him that she didn't live in this unit anymore. I told him that she moved into the unit 3 downstairs. The expression on his face after I said that, it was a mix of surprise, disappointment, and something else. He quickly looked at his feet. I went to close the door, but he looked up at me, and then he said that he was thirsty. He asked me if I could please give him a glass of water. I was a bit taken aback because what a strange request. Ever the helpful person, I said, "Sure, but stay there." I shut the door, locked it, and then headed into the kitchen. I ran the cold tap water into a mug, then I unlocked the door and I opened it. And as I was handing him the water, I got this strange gut feeling to not touch his skin. I carefully avoided his fingers. He took a few sips and then he handed the mug back. I don't know why, but I suddenly felt alarmed. Danger. I didn't let his hand touch mine. Then I closed the door quickly. My heart sped up a bit. The hallway was chilly and my fingertips felt cold. I peeked into the peephole and there was no one there. I was uncomfortable the rest of the night. Like, why did I tell him where Rebecca lived? I shouldn't have done that. I felt like I did something really wrong. It was if I just gave permission. It was if I just gave a permission of some kind or I just allowed something to happen. Honestly, I don't remember if these things happened before or after that night. The lights would burn out, especially the dining room light. It was frequent enough that I asked management to check the electrical. They said everything was good and nothing was broken or loose in the wiring. I ended up just leaving the dining room dark. My boyfriend was over one morning, and the three of us were watching TV together in the living room. My boyfriend got up to make himself a sandwich, and there was an old wooden room divider between the two rooms. We could see him at the counter fixing his snack, and we had our own coffee table. My boyfriend had to walk around the divider through the dark dining room area to get we had our own on the coffee table. Okay, we had our own snack on the coffee table. And my boyfriend had to walk around the divider through the dark dining room to get to the kitchen. My 3-year-old said, "Mommy, why is that man staring at us?" I asked, "What man? Where is he?" My 3-year-old pointed to the dark dining room area. I looked, but of course no one was there. I was really creeped out, but I asked, "What does he look like?" "He has big fat eyes and his hair is like this." And my child showed me with her little hands how the man's hair stuck out and then made wavy fingers. Ugh. I didn't want to scare my baby, so I pretended that what they said didn't frighten me. My boyfriend, on the other hand, was still in the kitchen and he paused mid-slice after he heard that. Then my 3-year-old said, "He's your friend who shuts off the lights." I shuddered. I wrapped my child up in the blankets and my boyfriend came over to join us. I stayed up that whole night just watching over them. Ooh. That's cool. I really like that story because it kind of like gives me it gets me into the realm of like, who do we interact with on a daily basis that's real and not? Like, are there ghosts that we interact with? Because that man seemed pretty real to her, but he could have been some weird, like, I don't know, entity. I don't know. Nobody knows. It's just like very fascinating. And also like kids, I swear they have like X-ray vision. They can see anything and everything that you can't see. And so it's a little bit, I feel like it's a little bit, you should take it a little bit seriously whenever a kid is like, "Oh yeah, I saw this man, he has dark brown hair and he's in my closet." And you're like, "What?" What do you mean? Because that is interesting that her light goes out. So I don't know. Maybe reading these stories, I'll get my own paranormal experience and then I'll be able to share it with you. But I kind of want to know what happened next. I wonder if there's like a response. I don't think there is, but I don't know. It's pretty weird. That's pretty weird. Anyway, I hope you guys like this episode. I tried to make it a little bit quicker than my last ones, but if you have any questions, of course, drop them in the comments, respond to me, message me, go to my website at www.performancebyk.com. Send me a message, talk to me, ask me, request topics. If you have anything that you want to hear about, let me know. And I'll cover it. But thanks for attending this episode, Debunking Fitness by K. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you guys next time.